Yo guys, so you guys have been asking a lot in the comment section for an official Angela guide, so you ask and you shall receive. Here is my official Angela guide. I will not be going over like what her kit does, because I feel like everyone knows what that is already, but I will be going over her combos, my tips and tricks for the character, my thought process behind plays, and overall just what characters to avoid and what cooldowns to avoid. Just overall more game sense oriented stuff, as I believe that most people already know what her kit does. So with that being said, let's get into the rest of the video. Alright, to start things off with the combo section of this video, it's going to be pretty short because she only has one combo. And it essentially is quick melee basic into charge, quick melee, basic. And that's it. That's her bread and butter combo. And a setting I recommend turning on is hold to activate Assassin's Charge. It just gives you more freedom to pick and choose when you're going to cancel it. I just feel like it's better. You're free to also use toggle. It is what it is. Most of the time it's personal preference. But yeah, let me show you what the combo looks like in real time. So what it is quick melee basic, pin, quick melee basic. A lot of the combos that you saw in the video are using that exact bread and butter. Let's say you pin a 250 HP target. Instead of doing a ground slam, which to be honest the axes don't really do too much damage, just follow it up with another quick melee basic and they're dead. Got to add this in too. But a cool tip you can do is you can do this, right? You can do your normal slam, right? And then you can slam right after. So you can almost do like a double slam. I'm not entirely sure if that's worth at all, but I thought it would just be a cool thing to add. So basically, I'll just go back up here again. Bang, you leap, your normal slam, and then when someone's low, you can execute them with the ultimate. So that's something I kind of do sometimes. It depends, it's very situational, but it makes it so that you basically, you fly above them, bang, you slam, you get them low, execute. Because it'll do enough to, I think, kill them from half HP. So just some cool tech you can add in after. Another quick combo you can do if a target's isolated, and let's say you hate them, you hate their family line, you hate everything they stand for. What you can do is you can run up to them, quick melee, and then solo ult them. Yep. Is it worth? That's up to you, but to me, if someone's pissing you off on the other team, it is 1000% okay to do that, bro. It is the most BM combo ever, and it is 1000% worth. So enjoy that. But yeah, that's essentially the combo section of the video. There's not really anything else. Hey guys, post-editing Gallivan here. I forgot to add the cancel section in, but essentially she only has one cancel, and it's just the quick melee, and then shield right after. So what's gonna look like in real time is that's essentially it. Another cool tip that you guys can know is that if you drag your finger across the screen, kind of like Mr. Fantastic, there's a lingering hitbox on your primary fire. So if I aim here and I drag it, it sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. Yeah, so it has a lingering hitbox on there. So if you're not exactly precise, you can drag it and kind of get it to work. The active frames are a little iffy. Yeah, you can kind of flick it though. I don't know if it's a lingering hitbox or it's the fact that it like comes out later, but I thought that was just a cool thing to add in. Yeah, that's it for the cancel / cool tech section of the video. Next part of the video is just a little touch up on the basic attack. So if you notice that the basic attack has a slight CC to it called a launch up, and essentially what that is, it's the same CC that Jeff has on his right click. It's enough to interrupt slight things, right? It won't like hard CC them out of anything, but it is enough to get kills on dive characters. And some of my favorite things to do with this fully charged right click, because it displaces and it kind of cancels momentum, is when, like, say a Spider-Man is swinging out, right? You see them swinging across, and let's say they're about to go and attack your support. Let's say that's your support right here. That's your support right here. As soon as you see him come in and use his little grapple in, typically what Spider-Mans do, if they do get the kill or if they don't get the kill, they want to swing out after. What you want to do hit them with the basic, and when they try to swing out, you flick up towards them, hit them with the launch up. It'll completely interrupt their swing away, and they're basically a free kill because they fall to the ground afterwards. And it's so satisfying hitting that. And I just thought that I should dedicate a portion of the video to making sure that new Angela players utilize this launch up to their advantage, because one of the best tanks, unironically, for chasing down dive characters is Angela. Because what do most of these dive characters have in common? He can't touch you in the air. He can kind of touch you in the air, but he does no damage. Iron Fist is like the kind of only like iffy thing, but like Iron Fist also isn't the greatest character. So maybe you might not have to worry about that, but for the most part, the ones that you see most common are BP, Spider-Man, Magic. A lot of these characters have cooldown cycles that are very dependent on getting the kill or not. If they don't get the kill, they have to leave, which uses their mobility skill to get away. And well, Angela's really good at chasing down people because of her fast movement speed. If you know that the dive character does not have their cooldown cycles up, it is basically just a free kill. Make sure you guys are utilizing the launch up on the basic attack to peel, as it is a very important peel tool. Alright, so now we're going to go over tank matchups, because I think it's important to cover these, because I just want to give you guys a little bit of a tip towards each of these tanks, because the tank matchup is inevitable. You're going to have to go against every one of these tanks. So just going to give you guys some tips on what you guys can do to combat a lot of these matchups. So the first one being Captain America. Captain America, you're gonna want to play peel most of the time, because yeah, they're gonna pretty much go for your backline the entire time. If they're not, I have no idea what they're doing, but you want to play peel. Your displacement is very, very strong. If he's trying to leave, you can always try to catch up to him, pin him back into your team, because most of the time all his cooldowns will be gone, and with the changes they made, Cap is a lot squishier, so you can still kill him. Granted, it is a team effort, but the displacement is really strong on her, so don't underestimate that. For Angela dittos, I typically tend to just avoid the other Angela. You're not really gonna kill her. The only times you're gonna be able to get her killed or kill her is if you pin her into your team if she mispositions, but that pretty much makes it so that you have to play super reactive. You're playing off of the other Angela's mistakes is essentially what I tend to do when I'm facing another Angela. Versus Hulk, your launch up on your basic attack, so if I go here, your launch up on your basic attack is so useful, because if he tries to leap, right, and you hit him with the launch up, it completely resets his jump and it will kill him. So what you want to do is kind of look for the point where he shields, and when he's trying to jump away, if you know, well, typically they'll shield, charge up, and then leave. If your team is coordinated enough and you can break the shield in time, you can also hit him with the launch up on the way out. It'll interrupt his jump, make it so that he stops in place, or you can pin him, it'll knock him on the floor. That too honestly is just really, really strong against Hulk. So you also want to play kind of a peel style on Angela versus Hulk. Versus Strange, typically what I do against Stranges is they're pretty easy to bully, I'm not gonna lie. You just push them into your team, but it is also very, very important to keep track of Strange's ultimate, because if you keep pinning him into your team, eventually you're gonna end up with a time where you pin him into your team and he gets a free ultimate. So after 2 to 3 fights, you want to also not just pin him into your team all willy-nilly, because there are times where he can just ult your team and then you have nothing else. So typically 2 to 3 fights in, I will wait. I will be like, okay, the Strange hasn't ulted for a bit. I'm going to just wait in the sky, because typically Stranges like to shift in the air to get a little bit more momentum to get their ult off. So you want to do is just hover up in the air, be a threat to them, just let them know they can't get a free ultimate on your team. And what you want to do is, as soon as you see them go for a shift, you don't want to pin them immediately, because you want to cancel the ultimate. So what you want to do is you want to just hover up in the air, wait for the Strange to go down. As soon as you hear eye of, that's when you go for the pin. If you're good enough and you hit the pin, it will cancel the ult every single time. They won't have their shift anymore, and they're pretty much just dead in the water into your team. So that is my biggest tip against Doctor Strange. Honestly, for me, if I see a Doctor Strange on the enemy team, I'm like, oh boy, that's just a free kill. So just as long as you have the game sense to be able to acknowledge that every 2 to 3 fights, the Strange is probably going to have an ultimate, so just make sure to play around your team, and instead of playing backline kidnap style, you want to play more peel reactive style against Doctor Strange 2 to 3 fights in. Next for Groot, honestly, Angela hard counters this tank, bro. I haven't gone against a single Groot where I've had an issue with this tank. She's essentially just another Wolverine, and you just displace him multiple times into your team, and as long as your team has enough damage, you'll be able to pretty much free kill Groot. There's not really anything you can do to improve that matchup. That matchup is actually just so free. The next one is Venom. Venom is kind of like a weird one because like you don't do enough damage to him, but you can displace him enough to like cause him some issues. So assuming he goes in to your team, most likely he is doing the wall slam, or like he climbs up a wall and then slams into your team, so he still has his swing out. But what you can do if you're quick enough, it's really hard. I won't lie, it is really hard to. But what you can do is you can try to flick up and hit your knock up on the launch up on your basic attack. So what you can do is he's trying to fight your team, you pin him into your team, and a lot of the times after he uses his shield, he's going to want to leave. So what you can try to do on the way out, I'm pretty sure, let me go double check, make sure this doesn't have CC immunity. It does not. It does not have a CC immunity. So what you can try to do when he's trying to swing out, you just flick up, hit him with your fully charged attack. It'll hopefully launch him up, and it'll be enough to CC him out of it, pretty much leaving him dead in the water. It is really hard, admittedly, because he swings away really fast. So that's kind of like my only tips for Venom. But you can play Peel Tank against this tank, and you can get him killed, assuming he has no brain cells. The next one is Magneto. To be honest, kind of the same thing as Strange, except for the fact that he can kind of peel for himself a little bit better because of Bubble. So what you kind of want to do is bait out Bubble, go in, do a little something, bait out a Bubble, or bait it on another team. After he uses Bubble, he is pretty much a free kill into your team as long as your team is halfway decent. As for countering his ultimate, my favorite thing to do is just hover in the air right in front of him, because he's not fast enough to maneuver around you. So you just hold up your shield right in front of his ult when your cloak and dagger or your support is ulting, and yeah, they can't kill anything. You just hover right in front of them. Even if your shield breaks, just keep hovering right in front of them, because 9 times out of 10 it is more important for your support and your support ult to live rather than you. Let's say given it's situational, right? If your team is up, it is more important for your support to stay alive than it is for you to stay alive as a tank. And because in an ult fight, you're not going to really be able to kill anything, but just ensuring that your support stays alive during their ult is just very important. So just hover right in front of the mag. Even if your shield is broken, you just want to hover right in front of him. He can't kill anything. It'll hit you, you'll die, but your support will live, and hopefully your team is good enough to be able to carry you into the next one. Thor, commonly seen as one of the counters for Angela, and I kind of agree. This character is very scary to go against because he can melt you, and the bubble is really annoying to go against. So what I typically do against Thor is a lot of Thors will try to make space and go into your team, and well, you don't typically want to boop him into your team unless he's like lower half HP, because then he's going to want to leave. And what you want to do is you're going to kind of want to counterpin, kind of like how you play Reinhardt back in the day. You want to make it so that when he's low and he's trying to shift out again, you counterpin him, knock him down on the floor, and that pretty much ensures that he dies, because he's also just a little bit more tanky than Angela, but he's also very squishy. So that is my tip against Thor. For the most part, you want to avoid this character and play around him. If you know he uses bubble, that gives you an opportunity to go in. But if not, this tank is kind of hard to go into. The next one is Penny. Honestly, I don't know who, like some people in the game think that Penny counters Angela. I don't see it, bro, personally, because every single time I've seen a Penny on defense, I just flank around on Angela, pin her into the team. Her setup is just gone. I call out, hey, focus the Penny. She is absolutely just obliterated off the board, and we win first fight because they don't have their whole setup anymore. So I don't really see how Penny counters Angela. because you can just pin her out of her whole entire setup and then she's pretty much dead. Her entire thing is that being able to maintain like a position and like camp in a position. Well, if she's pinned out of position and your team focuses her after you pin her in, then she's kind of just a free kill. But yeah, that's my tip for Penny. For Thing, to be honest, this tank is really annoying. You can't kill him. Everything in his kit pretty much shuts you down. So very, very high threat to Angela. And what you want to do is you kind of just want to avoid him at all cost. For the most part, you want to try and bait out his shift. But his right clicks will absolutely get you killed. So if you see Thing, not a very good tank to go into. For Emma, to be honest, I haven't had too many problems with Emma except for if they only use diamond form for when I go in. That is the only time I ever have any problems with Emma. But typically, you want to just kind of wait and bait. It's a patience game with against Emma, because you want to bait out her diamond form, and yeah, there's nothing else you can really do. But once you bait out the diamond form, she's pretty much a free kill as soon as you pin her into the team. But that pretty much sums up the tank matchups for Angela. Hopefully that gives you guys some insight on what I do when I see a certain tank on the enemy team. But yeah. All right, now I'll quickly go over some of the DPS that I feel like are problematic for Angela, and then I'll go over some of the free kills. Actually, you know what? We'll just do it as I'll list the threats, but everything else is pretty much free kills if you know what you're doing. So the first threat, the highest threat in the DPS category for me is Bucky. His entire kit just counters you. He has double... I already talked about it in my last video. He has double of these that will ground you, and then this will disable you, and then this hooks you into the team. You are absolutely just obliterated if there's a Bucky on the other team. So this is why Bucky is probably my most banned character this season if I want to play Angela that match. The next big threat, to be honest, not really a big threat, but more just so annoying, is Mr. Fantastic. Because if the Mr. Fantastic is playing Peel, you'll get booped out of everything in your kit, and then you'll get slowed. And then you can't really kill him because he has a lot of HP. Granted, I don't think he can kill you directly, but like the amount of shielding he does and peeling he does with the slow and boop is enough for him to be kind of an annoyance to Angela. Wouldn't say a threat, but an annoyance for sure. Phoenix also, you can't really get close to her because she has the melee weave. She has self-sustain, and she fires a lot faster than Hela, and has some insane burst damage. So this character is also kind of a threat. She also has a lot of escapes against Angela. So I would say Phoenix, at least for me, is kind of a threat. Wolverine, kind of just try to stay out of his range, because if he pins you once, and Wolverines have been getting kind of bold and pinning you in the air, so just try to stay away from Wolf, because if he pins you once into the team, you're pretty much dead. You are too squishy to survive anything. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all the threats. The last one being like maybe Black Widow, because if you try to go on Black Widow and you get too close and they kick you, well, let's just say you're dead. The stun is so long, it's broken, it has auto aim. I'm not going to go over that too much, but those pretty much sums up the threats for Angela, in my opinion, as far as DPS go. We'll quickly touch on support. The supports that significantly make it harder for me to do my job is 100% Sue as the top threat. Her pull, this ability, is on an 8-second cooldown. That is so short, it's insane. And then they have that ability that absolutely just destroys you. So Sue, super high risk when playing into a Sue, which, to be honest, this is why sometimes it's worth banning her. If you have a Bucky player on your team or something, sometimes it's worth banning Sue because of how much she just counters Angela. The next one being Jeff. You can't pin him when underwater, and his right clicks are absolutely just deadly to Angela. You just can't leave. Yeah, everything else is pretty much a free kill. I mean, you'll have to bait out the sleep and freeze from Luna and Mantis, but that's pretty much it as far as threat goes, as far as the other roles. Alright, welcome to the gameplay oriented section of the video. I'm just going to be going over some of my plays that what my thought process is when making these plays. And yeah, in general, there are two different types of play styles for Angela. You can play the assassin style, which you go and pretty much pick and choose your fights really carefully, and you pick off isolated targets. So right here, if we can see all the characters in front of me, which one is isolated? The Hela on the right side. I know for a fact that the supports are right here, so if they have to heal this Hela, they have to swing around this side, which gives them... It takes a lot of time for them to do so. So what I do here is I notice the Hela's on the right side, so I go over, bang, I know he's trying to bird, so I pin him and kill him, because Hela's 250 HP makes it an absolute free kill for Angela. And yeah, pretty much done and dusted that guy. You know for a fact he's gonna bird, but there is a brief animation before where you know that he won't be able to dash out. So we'll go to this defense phase here. We pretty much got locked out of overtime, so we only capped 2. Again, this was unfortunately a loss, but I thought there were some really cool plays in here, so I thought I would include those. So we'll go over here. So what I'm doing here is essentially just waiting for the Iron Man to pass through here, and pretty much while he's not looking, because Iron Man's not going to be looking up. He's not going to be expecting someone to come from above him. So that is why I'm up here. And what I want to do is I want to try and assassinate the Iron Man out of the sky. So right now I'm just third person peeking. I hear him come in and I hear him activate the overdrive. Bang. While he's not looking, absolutely destroy him from behind. Pause. Pause. But that is essentially what the assassin style of Angela is. You pretty much just, you kind of play like a rat. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little ratty, and I think this guy goes Hela. So what I want to do here is I'm just waiting up top here, waiting above the doorway. Okay, no, he didn't go. Okay, so he's still Iron Man. But I'm just gonna go peek there. The next kill is on the Hela. So I see the Hela isolated away from the team. Bang, absolutely take her out of position. We'll go replay that one more time. So here, I hear the Hela up top with my footsteps. He wasn't looking up towards me. So I go in, do the exact same combo, and absolutely obliterate her because she's still isolated from the team. And there was no way she was going to live there because there was no supports anywhere close to her. Next one. I kind of bullied this Hela a little bit, so I'm doing the same exact thing. I'm hovering above the doorway. Right there, she third person peeks me, but thankfully Angela is super tanky and does not matter. And she tries to bird away, doesn't matter again. Because she can't curve it or go anywhere else. You know exactly where she's going. Pretty much a free kill there. Pretty much just try to pin in the invis. Unfortunately, no one shot her on the way in, and that's unfortunate. The team-oriented playstyle for Angela is probably the best way to play her, but unfortunately, in a game like this, it's tough because if no one is on the same wavelength and they don't see that you pin people into your team, well, let's just say that they won't die. So the assassin playstyle is definitely better for more solo queues as individual plays and stuff. It only doesn't work if like the entire team is bundled up together and they're all pilling for each other, in which case you will you won't get anything done. Next we'll go over this kill on Invisible Woman. I'll just go back a little bit. All right, so right now we're kind of just still holding them at the choke here, hovering above the doorway. Third person peek to see who's there. I see that the suit is busy and distracted, and so I go in for the kill, absolutely kill her and assassinate her, and there's nothing that the team can do. Everyone was looking forward at my team chance to go in and kill the suit. So then I go back and reset. Let's see what else happens here. So here, I believe I get pinned by this Wolverine because I go for the Hela, but the Wolverine is yeah, the Wolverine is peeling for the Hela now, bodyguarding the Hela. And unfortunately, the Wolverine, really good play on him. He single-handedly shut down this entire chokehold because I was keeping this Hela at bay and watching their supports. But the Wolverine, absolute MVP of their team. Bronk, if you're watching this video, I hate you, bro. I hate you, bro. But essentially, after that initial bit, we got kind of rolled. I'm not gonna lie. We got absolutely kind of steamrolled near the end. Yeah, pretty much it was just a stall fest after. But that is an example of the assassin style of play that you can play with Angela. I'll try to find a VOD now that incorporates the team play style. All right, so now I found a VOD where I am playing Angela. I think I'm solo tanking, or I think I solo tank later, but this is a more team like peel oriented style Angela that I played because I had to play a little bit more careful because I was solo tanking on the second half. So we'll go over some of the highlights of this video. You'll probably see a lot of these clips in my upcoming video too, or previous video, whichever one. But yeah. All right, so I want to talk about a little moment here that makes me a bit sad. Look how sad this is, bro. I go for an ult, I go for a boop, and just that simple boop just completely like interrupts me. Me personally, I feel like that shouldn't hard CC me out of my ult, but you know, it is what it is. Invisible Woman counters my character. But all right, so here I utilized third person peeking to be able to kill this Hela. My Hela was baiting this Hela into the room, so I just wait here, bang, surprise him with the third person peek, and that Hela is absolutely cooked. Next, I believe I go for the Luna. So we'll go look here. I distract both supports. I go immediately for the backline because I see both of them are low. I kill the Luna. I just have to stay there, and the Invis the Invis comes back out at low HP. Don't know what that was about, but got 2 kills on the support. So basically, they are still dead. Basically, just go in, clean up, and that pretty much is the first round. I said that this was gonna be more of a team style, style of play for Angela, but apparently I just default to the assassin style. So next we'll go over to our defense phase here. Yeah, I pretty much see the Star-Lord isolated, bang, finish off the kill because I see him at half HP, and then absolutely kill the Star-Lord. All right, here, so I see the Strange, I see him curve it, pin him into the team. There's nothing much he can do there. He's out of position, away from his supports, and you just have to pin them out of LOS of the supports, and sometimes that's just enough. And typically what you want to do is, if you know the Strange still has shift, what you can do actually is just save your enhanced basic attack. It'll immediately just drop him, so you'll still kill him. So you want to manage that charge pretty effectively. I don't know what I do for the rest of this match. I'm gonna be so for real with you. All right, so like up here, I know that like it's pretty ratty, but you pretty much play in the skybox. You pretty much play in the skybox, just get an overlook of your team. If you see someone's out of position, you just go and try to pin for the tank. Bang, you get the mag. He tries to ult. I hover right in front of him and block his ult. Because he also tried to get out, right? Let me hide the thing. So he goes out again. I see him ult, so I just body block it right in front. He has no charge. I'm gonna sit right in front, and yeah, get a full ult here. And then sometimes you just have to leave because at this point I am currently solo tanking, so I can't exactly go in all the way. Pause. But here's the current stat line right now in the game. I have the most finals on the team. Pretty nice. And per usual, Angela doesn't have as much damage as the DPS, but that is what we're currently doing. You can also body block the Phoenix ult like thing. Unfortunately, it does a lot of your HP, so if you don't get healing, you'll just die. So that is that. I think I isolate the Phoenix right after the ult. Yeah, that pretty much happens every single time. Same thing with Hela. You know where she's gonna land, so immediately after they can't really control their character, so you just free combo them basically and they're dead. Yeah, that pretty much sums up that. I go in for another kill, I think. I don't know what is going on here. Pin the mag into the team, kill the Star-Lord. Invis pushes me away, so now I know that she doesn't have it. I'm getting CC'd by 50 million things, and there's the Angela experience. You just get CC'd by everything in the game, and then you can't play. So pretty fun time. Okay, so I'll just go to this last fight. So basically what's happening, we're held at choke here. They have 5 seconds left. I know for a fact that they do not have any support ults because they used it in the last fight. The invis is the closest one, so I try to target the invis, but I think I go for the mantis after. So I try to go for the invis because I know that she has ult first. Go back for a little bit of healing. I see the mantis is low, so I go and pick off the kill. I go for the Star-Lord after, and yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote. Took out one of their big supports. I ult in celebration, and that is pretty much game. Unfortunately, this one didn't really showcase me playing as a team too much, but I guess you get some play-by-plays on what I end up doing. Yeah. Alright guys, post-editing Gallivan here. I just want to add this in at the end. I know that the second game that I showed doesn't exactly teach anyone how to play a team-oriented style of Angela. And I promise you there's a good reason for that. It's because usually I'm solo queuing and oftentimes I'm solo tanking. So it's a little hard to play more team-oriented. But some tips that I have for it is that make sure that communication is like the top priority. If you're playing Angela as a solo tank or like as a second tank, it's very important that you communicate, hey, I'm pinning X person into the team in 3, 2, 1. You count down and hopefully your team collapses on that person. You get the kill. In like high levels of play, I promise you that's probably the best way to play Angela, because if you go off on a flank and you die on a flank, then you're kind of feeding. So it takes a little bit more skill to play in the backline. You have to know your limits and stuff, but essentially if you're playing a more team-oriented style of Angela, you want to make sure that you're calming properly, playing and communicating with your team, as she is very, very, very team dependent if you play that way. But yeah, just know that if you're playing a more team-oriented style and you're in the front for the most part, you will get focused a lot because you're where everyone can see you. So a lot of the CC you'll get the brunt force of all the CC on the enemy team. So that's probably why I don't play that way too much, but just thought I'd add that in at the end, because I know that the second game didn't exactly showcase that, but hopefully that helps. If you guys have any more questions, I will answer those in the comments. All right, that's gonna do it for today's video. If the video helped you at all, make sure to let me know in the comment section. It gives me feedback on how I can improve my videos in the future. Again, if you guys have questions, leave those down in the comment section as well, as I will be glad to help you in the comments. Again, I am not the best Angela player, right? I'm I'm not even close to the rank 1 in the world, right? But I'm just a guy who likes posting videos on cool clips that I get on Angela and other characters in general. So if it helped out somebody, I guess that's kind of worth, right? So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. Honestly, I've been loving the support and talking to you guys lately. Yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.